But when you're applying to internships and like your first job out of Fordham, they want to know immediately where you went to high school and where you went to college. So that should be the first thing on your resume. I want you to write out your full degree title. So don't just put major psychology. Write out for me, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. If you're minoring, write it out for me. Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in business admin. Give me your expected graduation year. So a lot of the times I will see like 2016 to 2020. An employer doesn't care, or 2016 to present. An employer doesn't care when you started college. All they want to know is when you are eligible to work for them. So make sure you're putting May 2020 or whatever your graduation year is. GPA should be on there if it's above a 3.0. If it's below a 3.0, I don't want you applying to anything just yet. I want you to focus on bringing your GPA up. But if you are applying to things and it's below a 3.0, leave it off for now. I know I'm like running low on time. See, I can talk a lot about resumes, but I just want to say like sometimes students will be like, oh, well, I'm a 3.2. I'm not proud of it, or I want it to be better. Should I leave it off for now? And my answer is no, definitely not. Put it on there. Even if it's your goal to bring it up, if an employer doesn't see it on there, they might think, well, is it in the 2s? Is it in the 1s? Like, what the heck is it? So I would put it on there. Again, even if it's your personal goal to improve, that's great, but put it on there for now. Same thing goes for if you are undecided. I still want you to put something on there that you think you're going to major in. You can always change it if you choose to change your major, but I don't really want to see like undeclared or undecided. If you are intending to major in accounting, just put it on there for now. Relevant coursework, that is pretty self-explanatory. Give me 2 or 3 classes that you've taken that are relevant to the field you're applying to. And for now, like if you're an underclassman, you've only taken intro courses, totally fine. Put those intro courses in there. But as time goes on, you'll swap them out for the more major specific classes or just classes that are relevant to the field you're applying to. Awards and honors, also self-explanatory. And when you guys see the template, you'll be able to see like what would be considered an award or honor. Dean's List, scholarships. They could also be fun awards, like if you ever won an award for like sports or anything, fill in the blank, put it in there. Okay, now your experiences. So this is like the bulk of the resume. This is what I really want to talk about. I'm gonna like stick on this slide for a minute and then I'm gonna flip back to the resume template because it's easier to like see it in front of you and get an idea of what I'm talking about. But the main thing that I want to get across with the experience section is that it does not just have to be paid positions. Whenever I see a resume and a student is like, oh, well, I really want to go into social media marketing, but I don't have any social media experience. So I see like lifeguard, I see that they were on track in high school, and those are all great experiences. But I want you to think outside the box. Like, what have you done in your life that is applicable to social media? And I'll like dig, I'll ask questions. And then it comes out that the student like has their own YouTube channel and has like 10,000 subscribers. Like, I would rather see those things, whether it's a passion project or a volunteer work or a go trip, than I would rather see a position just because it was paid. So try to think of this more as like what's applicable to your field rather than just like, okay, I was making money off this. For each position, I want you to give me 3 or 4 bullets on what your responsibilities were. You can put accomplishments in there. My most important thing with the bullet points is action verbs. So I want you guys to really make them strong, make them very detailed. Some verbs that I never want to see on a resume are work, help, assisted, responsible for. That's not even a verb, but like I nix it immediately. Make them really action oriented, make them like strong. Spearhead, lead, manage, organize. Again, that's something we can talk about in a one-on-one appointment if you're really struggling with how to make this sound professional. Because like obviously not every position that you guys had were you doing super relevant things. We have to try to like make connections for employers. Last thing on there is quantify wherever possible. So this just means adding specific numbers in there. So like if you were a cashier at, I don't know, Urban Outfitters, like approximately how much in sales were you guys doing, or how much cash were you managing every day? Approximates are totally fine. Like you're not the manager, you're not the owner of Urban Outfitters, you're never gonna know for sure. But if you can just give a roundabout, it will show employers what you're capable of. And it also kind of breaks up the wording on your resume. I'm gonna try to make this big screen for a second so that you guys can see just some of the things that I'm talking about. It's kind of small on here, so I apologize in advance, but you can see with some of those bullets, they all start with a verb. They give examples. So like if you're writing blogs or you're writing articles for the Observer, what are some of the topics? Who's reading it? What's your demographic? Like examples are so important. And another really important thing with your resume is to give a reasoning for a lot of your tasks. So for example, if you are writing blogs, maybe the purpose of writing the blog is to create, it says it on here, to create an interactive online community. That shows employers, like, number one, what you did, what you've done, and also what you can do for their organization. Side note, we're at 1:15, so I want to kind of zip through the rest and see if you guys have any questions. But I just want to say that when you're writing these bullet points, if it is hard, that's a good sign. If it's easy, that means you are probably doing something wrong. And I say that with like all the love and support in the world. A resume should not be easy. The only reason it's easy for me is because I've literally been doing this job for like 6 years now. So I look at resumes every single day. Your first few times writing it, and honestly, the first couple years, they're gonna be hard. That's a good sign. But try to get it seen by as many people as possible. Try to get it seen by as many people as possible, but like take it all with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, this is your resume. You have to be the final judge with like the wording and the bullet points and so on. Okay, I'm getting towards the end, which is, oh, I'm actually at the last slide. I have pretty good timing. Okay, additional information. So let me actually just go back to the template because I feel like it's easier for you guys to look at it. So down towards the bottom, once you get through the experience, then there's a skills and languages section. So please leave that for any technical skills. I don't want to see what we call soft skills, which are like leadership, communication, time management. That does not belong on a resume because number one, someone who's good at time management doesn't really need to write it in a skills section. They can showcase that in their experiences. So like, I know you are good at time management because you're a student athlete. I know that you are a natural leader because you are on e-board of a club on campus. So leave that skills section for the technical hard skills. I want you to put the more complex ones first. So Photoshop, Adobe, insert the blank. Please do list out Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I know that they're basic. I know that employers know you know how to use them, but my thing is like, you don't want to leave any room for doubt in an employer's mind. You want to be really explicit with what you know. Languages, there are 3 levels that we like to say. Actually 4, but the 4th one isn't on here. So there's basic, conversational, fluent, and native. And they're all pretty self-explanatory. The only thing I will say is the difference between basic and conversational. Err on the side of caution. Conversational should mean that if the interview is done in that language, you could do it. So that's the only one where like it's sometimes tricky to pick between the two, but I would just like err on the side of caution.